Hello, hello, hello. I know I haven't gone live in quite some time. I can tell you, and I'm going to chit chat a little bit while the message goes out and people make their way in there. Hello, I'm seeing some of you come on in. So I can tell you that having gone through 4 surgeries in 9 months is quite a challenge. And after this last surgery, July 27th, I had like this huge sense of relief. And my brain decided that now was the time to just put everything on pause and relax a little bit and take a little bit of time to really recover from that previous 9 months. So now I feel like I'm finally, getting back on track and it's good to have you. So please say hello in the chat. Let me know that you're here. I see that some of you are here and I am going to get started. So I am working on a new project. In fact, I'm working on quite a few new projects. I've got a short book about lies and lying that I'm working on. I've got a project with Briar Harvey over at the Neurodiverse Media Network on neurospicy dating. And I am working on another passion project to follow up my boundaries passion project. And this one is all about communication. So, this book is going to be called Actions Speak Louder Than Words, or Do They? How We Miscommunicate and Kill Our Relationships with Talking. And like I did with the Boundaries Project, I am asking the people in my networks to let me know what questions they have about communicating in relationships. And I'm going to take all of those questions. I'm eventually going to be doing some communications interviews, and I'm going to create the best book I can on communications in relationships, just like I created the best book I could on boundaries, setting and maintaining boundaries, healthy boundaries, specifically in relationships, which is now live on Amazon. It's called Take No Shit. And I'm super proud of it. Right now, I have 10 reviews and they are all 5 stars. So, yay. Thank you to every single one of you. I really do appreciate that. This morning, when I woke up, I had a question that made me want to answer it, to go live and to talk with y'all about this topic. And I'm going to read it to you because I think it's super, super critical. How much is it reasonable for each of us to adapt our own communication styles towards the others, especially in cases where the other party is not willing to directly discuss that as its own topic? I currently filter new relationships of all kinds quite heavily for communication alignment along a couple of different axes, but I'm aware that this means I miss out on some opportunities and great people I could have gotten to know better if I had a bigger spoon budget. And there are certain communication skills I could definitely stand to practice more or prioritize higher. It can be hard to strike that balance. Yes, yes, and yes. Hello, Prince Steve. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me today. Boundaried communication. Now, there's a thought. Yes. So, I have a master plan. I believe that love, sex, and romance are all skills that we can learn. And my master plan is to write about all of those skills. And when I was looking at what I really wanted to write about first, I was sort of torn between boundaries and communication. And I realized as I was trying to figure it out that boundaries had to come first. I truly believe that the better you are with your boundaries, the more effective your communication is going to be. So, yes, boundaried communication. And we're actually going to talk a little bit about that when I answer this here right now. So, How much is it reasonable for each of us to adapt our own communication styles to the others? Personally, I feel that this questioner had it right when they say they filter for certain communication styles on different axes. I do the same thing when I'm engaging with people, and how well we naturally communicate helps to determine how close, how intimate, how involved we might get on any level, business level, friendship, sexy partner times, whatever. I do believe that it is not only reasonable to filter for good communication, but also foundational, critical. And I'm going to explain why in just a little bit. So, the query here, though, was how much to change because this person feels they are missing out on some opportunities and great people they could get to know better if they had a bigger spoon budget. So, when we're talking about the spoon budget, when we're talking about what our actual resources are when we're engaging with others, it's important to take under consideration our natural levels, our set base point, right? Because our set base point is going to be the key location from which we can expand, right? And when we are super stressed, like when we're arguing or when we're having an emotional conversation or when we're feeling insecure or angry, we are most likely to revert to our set base point. And that is why I feel it is critically important to focus on making sure that you have not necessarily matching communication styles, but collaborative communication styles and complementary communication styles. Price Steve, we could talk about the different parts of ourselves which may find themselves drawn into or excluded from communication. That is a whole nother topic, and I might actually want to make that into a live as well. So thank you for mentioning that. So when we're talking about matching our communication skills to others, to change our communication skills, I I have a poll that I've got going right now. Right now, it's only got 7 votes, but 29% of people say I'd totally change my communication style. 71% of people say I'd change some things, but not others. Just as a little quick, this is what people are thinking right now. But here's the key. Is your communication style, and this is a question that only you can answer, is your communication style working for you? Is it? Is it working for you? Because, like I say in every single one of my books, in some way, shape, or form, do what works. Because when it comes to any kind of relationship, what works for one person may not be what works for another. So I'm a huge fan of do what works. So when you're trying to decide whether or not to change anything about your communication style, is your communication style working for you as a whole with the people currently in your life and with the kinds of people that you want in your life, right? That is the first question to answer. Now, the questioner said there are certain communication skills I could definitely stand to practice more or prioritize higher. Okay, so the questioner already knows that there are some things that they can be working on. This is key. Hello, Beth. You said it would depend on if I felt someone else's communication style is healthy for me. There you go. So, does somebody else's communication style, in this case, when you're asking this question, does it seem like they have a style that could benefit you, that could encourage your growth, that could increase your success in communication with others, right? Because if you're changing to match their style, then knowing that that is going to benefit you, that it's going to be, as Beth said, healthy for you is key, right? So the first question, is it working for me? Price, pardon me. Deep-seated triggers and inhibitions might be blocking communication. For example, fear of abandonment or rejection. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. And unfortunately, those are also exactly the things that even if we do try to change our communication style, deep-seated triggers, especially negative triggers, and inhibitions of fear of abandonment, rejection, etc., are going to more likely throw us back to our set base point. Who are we? How do we communicate when we are under super stress? Right? And that's a key that we need to keep in mind, because even when we change, it takes a long time for that surface change to work its way in. Right? So, my answer to something like this is, would I change my communication style to make a relationship with a single person more likely? Maybe. I have done it before. I will do it in the future. However, the question is, will this potential relationship add value to my life above and beyond the effort it will take to make that change? Another question could be, will this change that I make benefit me in other relationships in the future? Right? Is this a change I want to make? Do I look at this communication style that I do not yet have and think, I would be a better person, my life would be a better life if this communication style were a skill I could acquire for myself? And is it something I would be willing to put effort into, to work on, and ultimately hope to add to my baseline, right? My set sense of self. And to answer all of these questions, going back to, boundaried communication, I believe that understanding your boundaries and having a good, healthy sense of self and boundaries helps answer that question, those questions. Thank you, Beth. So then another thought is, would you be willing to change your communication style to gain more success overall? with many different types of people? And for some people, the answer is absolutely not. I am who I am, and the people that come into my life have to love me for who I am. That's valid. That is your choice. Nobody else can tell you that is not valid, right? If, however, you feel like you take a good long look at your communication style and you feel that it could be maybe spit polished a bit or, added on to or improved, and it will affect your life with many different people. And it might also affect your life with this one very interesting person that you have your eyes set on right now. To me, that's the trifecta, right? Beth says, what about, is this communication style adding to my sense of self or taking something away? Ooh, I just got shivers. That's beautiful. I love that. Absolutely. 100%. Is this adding value to my life? The key is, though, is that sometimes we do actually, though, have to take something away, right? Sometimes we look at our lives and we say, you know what? I am holding on to this survival mechanism and I need to let that go. I've identified with it for a very long time and it's not serving me anymore. Or I have this bad habit and I need to let that go. Or this thing is good and I feel like I can do better. So I need to remove this good thing in order to make room for this better thing. Price Steve, will the relationship take me towards or away from my true self? Defending our authenticity is a lifelong process. Ding. Yes. Is this in line with my ethics? Is this in line with my values? Will this help me be the person now that I intend to be in the future as I grow and change? Will it take me one step closer to that person, or will it take me further away? That is absolutely an excellent question. So for me, the answer is I would absolutely change some aspects of my communication style for someone else. However, the quote, I miss out on some opportunities and great people I could have gotten to know better if I had a bigger spoon budget, is something I definitely want to touch on, because there are amazing opportunities and great people out there, and it's a never-ending stream. Knowing who you are, your authentic self, and how you are able to communicate means also knowing that some of those people, no matter how cool or awesome or sexy or, whatever they might be, are not going to be a fit for you at all. And that's okay. It's okay for you to not be a fit for them. It's okay for them to not be a fit for you. And it's okay to decide, I'm not going to change just to enable something that won't be a good long-term fit. So that goes back to communication filtering, right? Because I have turned many, many, many people away over the years by simply saying, you know what? I appreciate the time and effort that you spent getting to know me. Our communication styles are not a match. I wish you the best of luck. And when they ask me why, I say, we are spending so much time trying to understand each other that we are not spending time bringing each other joy. And that's my priority. bringing people joy that come into my life and them bringing me joy or value or love or acceptance or whatever those important positive feelings are. If the communication style and the conversation revolves constantly around the communication style, takes over everything or most things, or even every single time you get stressed out or have an argument, you're going around and around and around in circles trying to explain your communication to somebody else and why they totally misunderstood you again in exactly the same way they misunderstood you last time. That is going to be a fundamental anchor that halts your relationship in place. And it's going to kill joy. It's going to breed resentment and miscommunication. Price Steve, you bring up an excellent point. It depends on whether you're planning a monogamous relationship with this person. I personally believe I am non-monogamous. I think all of you probably know that. But I personally believe whether I am planning a monogamous or non-monogamous relationship, every single one of these points still stands. I deeply believe in a resonance in communication styles. So, are there any questions from those of you that are here? I'd love to answer anything if you have it. Otherwise, I have said what I need to say, what I hope to and intended to say. And I will sign off and come back again with, another question at some point. Because again, I'm working on this book. And I will want to talk to a lot of different people and get a lot of questions about communication. Because again, it's going to be actions, our actions speak louder than words. And how the boundaries that we set for ourselves and the choices that we make in setting and maintaining those boundaries make a huge difference in how we live our lives. And for those of you who may be interested in following along in one of my new projects, the Live Write that I've got going on right now, I have a Live Write for another book. This is a short book. It was actually, it's about communication, but it was actually originally a chapter in my Boundaries book about lies and lying. And I felt like there was so much more I had to say that I could not fit it all into a book about boundaries. So I broke out that information and I've got my outline done and I'm working on it and I'm writing it live. So if you'd like to join me, I will pop this down into the chat. Let's see. Huh. And for some reason, it is not show. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're going to show that on the stream. So curiouser.me slash lies dash live write right there. And all I ask is that if you do choose to join me for that live write, that you be willing to buy the book at 99 cents when I release it and do a review. But you are welcome to join me to ask questions about lies and lying and deceit in relationships and to be a part of making that book a better book than it would be all on its own. So, Price, you say talking dirty and asking permission to do so is a great gateway to authenticity. Absolutely. I've actually taught a class on dirty talk, and I enjoy it because at one point there was, I was at a point in my life where I clammed up. I could not talk dirty. I didn't know what to say. I lost all of my words, but yeah. So thank you so much for those of you who did join me today. And thank you so much to all of you who are joining me on the replay. I would love to have your additional comments and questions on communication. Whatever you have to share with me. I am going to do, some of these informal little live writes whenever a question inspires me, and I want to make sure that I cover communication from a myriad of different angles. So thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you for joining me, and have an amazing day.